If you've been waking up in the morning feeling groggy, like your thoughts are stuck in mud, like your brain's on pause, you're not alone. And let me be clear, this is not just normal aging. In fact, one of the top brain surgeons in the country, Dr. Lucas Raymond, recently told me what most people call senior moments are actually early signs of disrupted glymphatic flow, and it's often caused by one missing habit before bed. That missing habit, what you drink or don't drink before you go to sleep. Let me share a real story that opened my eyes to just how serious this is. Kara, 67, retired piano teacher, walked into my clinic complaining of mental static. Her words: she couldn't remember the names of her neighbors, lost track of what she was saying mid. She'd always been sharp, the kind of woman who finished crossword puzzles before breakfast. But now, I feel like I'm disappearing, she whispered. We ran tests. No stroke, no tumor, no major vitamin deficiencies. Then I asked her, "What's your nighttime routine?" She blinked. "I wash my face, take my blood pressure meds, maybe read a little, but I try not to drink anything. I don't want to get up at night to pee." There it was. That one decision, avoiding hydration before bed, was wrecking her brain's overnight detox system. You see, your brain has a second circulation system. It's called the glymphatic system, and it only activates during deep sleep. It's your brain's cleanup crew. It flushes away toxins, proteins, waste, and inflammation that build up during the day. But here's the catch. It needs water to work, and by avoiding fluid before bed, Carol had unknowingly dehydrated her brain while it was trying to repair itself. Dr. Raymond calls this glymphatic starvation. Without enough hydration, the brain's cleansing cycle slows. Toxic proteins like beta amyloid accumulate, the same proteins found in Alzheimer's brains. Let that sink in. A simple fear of nighttime bathroom trips could be setting the stage for permanent cognitive damage. Now, I'm not saying to drink a gallon of water and flood your bladder, but your brain, especially after 60, needs a targeted, gentle drink that hydrates without overstimulating your kidneys. When we adjusted Carol's routine, gave her a light, neuro-supportive drink before bed, things began to shift. She started waking up with energy again. Her mind felt clean. And the most beautiful part, she cried the day she remembered the names of her old piano students again. Seniors, I'm not here to scare you, but I am here to wake you up, because your brain is crying for help every night. And if you're over 60, the damage can come faster, harder, and more silently than you realize. So what exactly should you drink? Let's talk about what not to drink first. If you're having sweetened tea, juice, or alcohol before bed, stop. Those beverages spike your blood sugar, strain your liver, and shut down glymphatic flow. Alcohol, in particular, is a neurotoxin in disguise. Yes, it may make you sleepy, but studies show it actually fragments deep sleep, interrupts REM, and leaves your brain foggier the next day. And sweet drinks, they raise blood sugar overnight, leading to inflammation that blocks blood flow to your hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory. I had a patient named Lewis, 70, who swore by his nighttime glass of healthy grape juice. His fasting glucose was 147. He hadn't had a dream in months, because he wasn't reaching deep sleep. We replaced the juice with something better, and I'll tell you exactly what that is. Because there's one drink, simple, natural, brain-supported, that can dramatically clear morning brain fog, boost cognitive function, and reduce dementia risk long-term. It's not a pill, not a drug, not a gimmick. It's something you can make at home in less than a minute. And the best part, it doesn't make you wake up to pee. I'll explain everything, including the ingredients, timing, and science, because I want you to experience what Carol and Louis did. But before I do, if you've ever woken up feeling off, or if you've noticed your memory slipping, I want you to comment below. You are not alone. You're not crazy. And someone else reading your comment might finally realize what's happening to them too. And if you've found this helpful so far, go ahead and like this video. It helps spread the message to other seniors who need this life-saving info. Because the truth is, your brain can heal, but only if you give it what it needs. Starting tonight, seniors, you don't need another pill. You don't need another complicated routine. You need a simple, science-backed solution that works with your body, not against it, and that's exactly what this drink does. Remember Carol, the retired piano teacher who was forgetting names and feeling like her brain was on pause? Within weeks of adding this drink to her nightly routine, she told me something I'll never forget. It's like someone cleaned the windows inside my mind, and what helped her and hundreds of my patients wasn't magic, it was biology. So let's break it down. First, the drink I recommend contains 3 powerful ingredients. Nothing synthetic, nothing fancy. Just a trio of natural compounds that work together to hydrate, calm, and fuel the brain during its deepest sleep phase. Ingredient number 1. Warm water with a pinch of Himalayan salt. This might surprise you, but plain water often isn't enough for older adults. Why? Because as you age, your cells lose the ability to retain water effectively. This is why many seniors are chronically dehydrated, even if they drink enough. Adding just a pinch of mineralogy salt, like Himalayan or sea salt, gives your body the electrolytes it needs to absorb the water properly. Dr. Lucas Raymond, the brain surgeon I mentioned earlier, explains, hydration without minerals is like trying to fill a sponge that's already dry and brittle. The water just runs off. When your brain is properly hydrated with electrolytes, the glymphatic system flows freely, flushing out the toxic debris that builds up from stress, sugar, and even everyday thinking. But that's just the beginning. Ingredient number 2. A splash of tart cherry juice. Now, before you panic about sugar, I'm talking about 1 to 2 tablespoons, not a glass. Tart cherry juice is one of the only natural sources of melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain it's time to sleep. And unlike synthetic melatonin pills, tart cherry stimulates your body's natural rhythm gently, without disrupting REM cycles. In one study published in the European Journal of Nutrition, older adults who drank tart cherry juice increased their sleep time by over 80 minutes and reported sharper mental clarity the next day. Tart cherry also contains anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation in the brain, especially in the hippocampus, which controls memory, and when combined with the salt-infused water, it creates the perfect environment for overnight brain repair. Ingredient number 3. A few drops of magnesium glycinate. If there's one mineral I wish every senior was getting before bed, it's magnesium, especially in the glycinate form. Why this type? Because magnesium glycinate is highly absorbed and it crosses the blood-brain barrier, helping to calm overactive neurons, reduce anxiety, and support deep, restorative sleep. Magnesium also helps regulate GABA, the brain's natural brake pedal, which means fewer racing thoughts, fewer 3 a.m. wake-ups, and more time in delta wave sleep, where the glymphatic system does its magic. Now, when you combine these 3, mineral-enhanced hydration, melatonin-rich tart, cherry brain-calming magnesium, you create the ideal internal chemistry for your brain to cleanse, heal, and wake up sharper the next day. I call it the Neuro Flush Tonic. It's gentle, it's safe, and it works. One of my patients, Roger, 69, former mailman, told me after a week of using it, I started dreaming again. I haven't had dreams in years. I wake up now and actually feel like I slept. That's the sign your brain is hitting deep sleep, where real memory, consolidation, detox, and healing happen. Now, you might be wondering, will this make me get up at night? In most cases, no. The key is in the timing. I always recommend drinking this tonic 45 minutes to 1 hour before bed. Not right before your head hits the pillow. This gives your body time to absorb the fluids, balance your electrolytes, and avoid overnight bathroom runs. And if you're worried about blood sugar, this drink is extremely low in carbohydrates, especially if you use just a splash of tart cherry. It's gentle, slow absorbing, and doesn't spike insulin, which is crucial, especially if you're dealing with prediabetes, belly fat, or high blood pressure. Seniors, I know how frustrating brain fog can be. You forget where you put your keys. You walk into a room and can't remember why. You blank out during conversations. And the worst part, you start to wonder, is this the beginning of something worse? I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be. So if you've ever felt that kind of fog, if your mornings are slow, your mind feels dull, or your memory isn't what it used to be, please comment below. Tell me what you're experiencing. It's not shameful, it's not weakness. It's a message from your brain that it needs support. And if you're finding this video helpful, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We post weekly videos with practical, science-backed habits to help people over 60 stay mentally sharp, physically strong, and emotionally clear. Because this drink, it's just the beginning. There is another piece to the puzzle that most doctors never talk about. And if you're not doing it, your brain may still be suffering. Even with the perfect bedtime routine, I need you to understand something that most doctors never say out loud. You can drink the right thing before bed. You can take your magnesium. You can eat the cleanest diet in the world and still wake up tired, foggy, or forgetful. If you're missing this one critical piece, it's not a nutrient, it's not a supplement. It's a simple, overlooked problem that shows up in the quietest hours of the night. Poor sleep Yes, I'm talking about how much oxygen your brain is getting while you sleep. And if you're over 60, there's a good chance your brain is being starved every night, even if you don't realize it. Let me explain. As we age, the soft tissues in our throat lose tone. Our nasal passages become more congested. Our breathing patterns, especially during sleep, change. And for many seniors, this leads to mild sleep apnea, snoring, shallow breaths, or short periods where breathing actually stops. Even if you don't wake up, even if you think you're sleeping 7 to 8 hours, Dr. Arjun Malek, a sleep specialist who's worked with seniors for decades, told me this. I've seen so many patients with mystery memory loss, and it turned out they were experiencing oxygen drops at night that damaged their hippocampus. Yes, oxygen drops. This is what scares me most. Your brain is most vulnerable at night. It relies on a steady flow of oxygen to clear out toxins, reinforce neural pathways, and prevent memory decay. And when that oxygen supply gets cut, even briefly, your brain suffers. This is what we saw in David, 74, former high school principal, smart as a whip, never missed a birthday. Then, suddenly, things changed. He was dozing off during the day, losing track of stories, but his wife noticed something else. A soft, choking sound during the night. She said, "He doesn't snore loud, but sometimes it's like he stops breathing." We did a simple overnight oxygen test, and sure enough, his oxygen levels dipped below 90% dozens of times per night. That may not sound serious, but even small dips like that, night after night, can lead to memory loss, brain fog, and an increased risk of stroke and dementia. Think about this. Would you let your heart go without oxygen? Then why let your brain? Now here's the good news. You don't have to suffer or wear a giant CPAP machine to breathe better at night. In fact, many of my patients improve dramatically with just a few small changes. We helped David by elevating his head slightly with a wedge pillow. He started doing nasal breathing exercises before bed. He used a simple saline nasal spray to open his airways. And, yes, he drank his NeuroFlush tonic 45 minutes before sleep. The results? He started dreaming again. His morning fatigue vanished. His memory came back online. And when we retested his nighttime oxygen, it stayed above 95% all night long. Seniors, please listen to me. If you snore, even lightly, if you wake up with a dry mouth, if you feel tired, even after sleeping, you might not be getting enough oxygen while you sleep. And that's blocking your brain from clearing inflammation. It's blocking your body from restoring neurotransmitters. And it's blocking you from feeling like yourself. So here's what I recommend to everyone over 60. Start observing your sleep. Ask your partner if you snore or breathe strangely. Use a sleep tracking app or ask your doctor about a simple overnight oxygen test. It can be done at home, and it could literally save your memory. Because brain fog is not just a sign of getting older, it's a signal, a red flag. And the sooner we respond, with hydration, oxygen, and deep sleep, the sooner your mind starts to wake up again. If you've ever woken up with a headache, or had that sluggish, out-of-body feeling when you rise, leave a comment below. Tell me what your nights feel like. You're not being dramatic. You're being honest. And someone else might read it and realize they're not alone. And if this video is helping you connect the dots, please take a second to like it. It helps us reach more people who are struggling quietly with these exact symptoms. Because there's one more piece to this story. A surprising connection between blood sugar crashes during sleep and early signs of dementia. Seniors, I wish I could shout this from every rooftop. Because this final piece, the one most doctors overlook, may be the root cause of why so many people over 60 are waking up tired, foggy, or worse, confused. It's something you'll never see on the news. Most physicians don't test for it, but it happens in millions of bedrooms, every single night. I'm talking about a blood sugar crash between 2 and 4 a.m. Let me explain what happens. You eat dinner around 6 or 7 p.m. You might have a light dessert, maybe even a cup of tea, then you go to bed. But if that meal was high in carbs, or if you didn't get enough protein and fat, your blood sugar rises quickly, and then plummets a few hours later. And when that crash happens, your brain senses it as a threat. It thinks, we're out of fuel, so it wakes you up. Maybe you toss and turn. Maybe you get up to pee. Maybe you wake feeling anxious for no reason. This is not anxiety. It's neuroglycopenia. When your brain runs out of glucose while you sleep. Dr. Eva Liang, an endocrinologist I trust deeply, explained it like this. The aging brain has less ability to regulate blood sugar overnight. Even a mild drop can impair memory consolidation, increase nighttime cortisol, and trigger morning confusion. So if you're waking between 2 to 4 a.m., struggling to fall back asleep, or waking up with a pounding heart or dry mouth, this could be the reason. One of my patients, Georgia 271, retired nurse, described it perfectly. I'd wake up at 3:17 every night. No alarms. Just boom, wide awake. My thoughts racing. She assumed it was stress or hormones. But when we checked her glucose trend with a simple wearable, we saw a steep blood sugar dip at exactly 3 a.m. And get this, when blood sugar drops during sleep, your body releases adrenaline and cortisol to bring it back up. But those hormones don't just act on your liver. They slam into your brain. They interrupt REM sleep. They increase inflammation. And they block the glymphatic system from clearing out plaque. Which brings me to something terrifying. Several major studies have linked nighttime blood sugar instability to higher levels of beta-amyloid accumulation. The same plaque seen in Alzheimer's disease. Now, before you panic, let's talk about solutions. Because what helped Georgia, and what helped thousands of older adults, wasn't complicated. It was as simple as a bedtime stabilizer. No, not a drug, not a supplement. A tiny tweak to her nighttime drink. The NeuroFlush tonic we introduced earlier. We added 1 teaspoon of grass-fed collagen powder, a protein that's easy to digest, won't spike insulin, and keeps blood sugar stable through the night. Collagen contains glycine, an amino acid that helps calm the nervous system and support deep sleep. It also gives your brain a slow drip of fuel that prevents the dreaded crash. Georgia started sipping her tonic. Warm water, pinch of salt, splash of tart cherry, magnesium, and now a teaspoon of collagen, 45 minutes before bed. By night 3, she slept straight through. By week 2, her dreams came back. By month 1, she told me, I feel like I'm actually aging backwards. This is the power of listening to your body and feeding your brain what it needs, when it needs it. So let's bring it all together. If you're over 60 and waking up foggy, anxious, or forgetful, here's what might be happening. You're not hydrating properly before bed. You're missing essential brain nutrients like magnesium, glycine, and electrolytes. You may be snoring lightly or experiencing low oxygen at night, and your blood sugar could be crashing during the most critical hours of brain repair. But the good news, every single one of these things is fixable. With the right drink, the right timing, and the right awareness, you can reboot your brain, reduce your risk of dementia, and wake up feeling truly rested and clear. Not just today, not just this week, but for the years ahead. Because you deserve a brain that works for you, not against you. Now, I want to hear from you. If you've ever experienced this kind of brain fog, those 3 a.m. wake-ups, or that strange feeling of being in a cloud, leave a comment below. I read every one, and I promise you, you're not alone. And if this video helped you understand what's really going on, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Because we post weekly tips, bedtime habits, nutrition tricks, and movement routines that are designed specifically for people over 60. Because you don't have to lose your memory, you don't have to accept fog, fatigue, or forgetfulness. Your brain is still alive, still powerful, and it's waiting for you to support it the right way. Tonight is your chance. So drink smart, sleep deep, and remember, your mind matters.